G Unity Worldwide. We are back at it with the King Project. Thank you so much for giving me another opportunity to share with you some great things about Dr. King and some of his great work in his short time with us. Today's quote is going to really be based on his sermon that he gave at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And it goes like this: Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Now, we know that's a very popular quote by Dr. King, and we all can kind of really associate with that quite a bit. But I wanted to really dig deep a little bit deeper into where it came from and really the philosophy behind it. And this really came from that speech that he gave, our sermon. It was one of two sermons that he gave. I believe the first one was in a formal setting, so it was a speech, and this one was actually in his church, and it was called "Love Your Enemy." And that's another popular quote that Dr. King is all over the place that you see about. And it's a big part of who he was. It's a big part of what he was doing and how he went about things. And I just really wanted to show you guys really where it came from a little bit and break down some of that. It looks like, his basic philosophy really comes from love. It really comes from the aspect of just really overcoming your enemy with love. And, it really is captured in this quote here by Dr. King. It is so basic to me because it is part of my basic philosophical and theological orientation. The whole idea of love, the whole philosophy of love, end quote. And that really kind of gives you an idea of how Dr. King was relentless in being able to overcome his enemy and do the things he was able to get away with and at the times that he was doing it in. And I just think it was a really special, unique, theological and philosophical approach to being able to go against so much negativity and so much things that was so bad at the time that he was dealing with these issues. When you think about what love was to him, he kind of broke it down in this sermon here in three different aspects. It's eros, philia, and agape. The eros was more of a romantic type of love. It was something that you have where you have a strong bond with another person and you're able to really, really be moved by that. But it is kind of selfish in nature because it is something that is benefiting off someone else's situation. Not that it's negative, but it's just a description of what that is. And then you had the filial love, which is more of a reciprocal type of love where you had it really based upon your friendships. You kind of just had a genuine likeness to someone. You had something in common with someone. And that was more of the filial love. And that was really more of a reciprocal, type of love in nature in a way that both people benefited from that. And then you had agape love, which really is the ultimate love that Dr. King, I believe, was really aspiring to and really wanted others to aspire to. And this was really the ultimate love. And from his words, it was really seeing the image of God in the person that you hate and being able to find goodness in people. And I thought that was really special because, that's very difficult to apply in today's world. I can't imagine trying to apply that to such extreme situations that they were in and some of the extreme issues that they were dealing with when it came to segregation and racism and the killings and the murders and and just a lot of the problems that were going on and to beat it all with and be effective with it with love. Really, agape was his main principle and his main secret weapon, I believe, based on kind of what I got in this research, and I just thought it was awesome. Let me give you a couple of different ways he really applied that in a couple of different quotes. You love the individual who does the evil deed while hating the deed itself. I had itself on there, but really that's really capturing what it is. You love the individual who does the evil deed while hating the actual deed. So it was really very clear where his mind was. He was really able to rise above and really see the big picture of things. And he went on to say, and these are all coming from Love Your Enemy quote, you seek to defeat the system, not the individual caught up in the system. And he was dealing with racism, segregation, violence, all these different things were happening, and that's what he did. He beat the system, and he went on to do great things after 1957 as he gave this Dexter Baptist sermon in his own church. He also was a man about giving you action steps, and he was actually going out here and applying things and leading by example. And he was able to give you and give other people as a redemptive power with his love and be able to take hold of his enemy and really transform them to giving them the ability to really see you in a different light. Dr. King went on from his pulpit to preach several different things in several different environments, but I believe this particular sermon at age, I believe 28 that he was, really set a lot of things in motion. It really gave him the influence, I think, on others that really galvanized his momentum. The action steps that he talked about also within this sermon, which I really thought were brilliant of him, because it really made it something that you can really take hold and really apply in life. And the first step you can do, and it's one of three right now, is analyzing yourself. You know, he talked about analyze yourself, look at yourself for why people hate you. And then what you need to do is invest in yourself. And what I got from that, you really invest in yourself and you really take hold, because there's going to be some people in there that's going to hate you and not like you for just whatever reason. And the more you invest in yourself, the more you are able to know thyself, if you will, the better you'll be able to see and be able to increase that change and promote change. The second thing he did was he said, look for some good in your enemy. Look for some good in your enemy. You know, no matter how small that was, no matter how insignificant it was, look for that and try to focus in on that, and it will help you be able to find a way to be able to have those redemptive powers within that agape love that he talked about within this sermon. And finally, you know, when you have an enemy, you know, and you have someone that's doing things to you and not giving you opportunities, if you will, and things like that, Dr. King was very adamant in talking about not defeating your enemy. And I know that that's not a popular a philosophy in a lot of ways, as far as when you have your enemy, you're supposed to just take your enemy out. Me, as a former fighter, a professional fighter, you know, you finish your opponent. But Dr. King was really, really adamant about that's when you have the power to have redemptive love be in effect, because if you give your enemy that opportunity to learn from you, you give your enemy the opportunity to understand that love is overcoming despite how you feel and despite how you treated them, then you will win. And when you do this, what usually happens are three things that happen within this. The first thing is the person that you're doing this to, the person you're giving this ultimate agape love to, they're going to be bitter at first. They're going to resent it. And then the second thing is they're going to get guilty, and then they'll probably dig deeper into the hate and to some of the problems that really exist within that person, and they'll double down on that. And then as you continue to love this person, as you continue to invest in this person, then you'll break them. You'll break them with love in a positive way. And there was many examples throughout his long redemptive powers. You know, I know one time he was arrested and he was jailed, and they were singing a hymn, and they were just showing love throughout the whole, you know, process. And next thing you know, the prison guards and the security forces and all those guys were singing along the hymns with them. And so, you know, I just thought that was a great example. And I thought today's discussion and really breaking down loving your enemy and really making sure that it's not just the same, but understanding where that came from for Dr. King. And this is our discussion today from G Unit Worldwide. This is Chuck Grigsby. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share with you guys once again Dr. King and his great legacy. And we will be finishing strong with the G Unit project for the whole month of October. Take care, y'all.